Hello folks. I'm going to bring you some information tonight. I wanted to explain to you, I have begun using the community post, and that is for the subscribers, to post some of the biology information that I'm finding, some of the species information that I'm finding. So if you're not getting those, I think you do have to subscribe. I don't think that you can just be looking at videos and be able to see it. But the one thing that I wanted to do was share with y'all this information that I'm finding. You know, I need help as well, and the whole purpose is me sharing information with y'all. So I started thinking, instead of reading it, instead of explaining it, that I could simply put links and screenshots of information that I am finding. One of the screenshots that I put up was the extension agent from UT. He looked into some of his old books and he found a page that listed 7 different species of just the Lactuca virosa. So that explains why, when we've been looking, all of us have been looking for virosa, because it's supposed to be so much stronger. It actually isn't, but it's supposed to be. That's why we've been getting all these wonky pictures. We all get different pictures. So that explains why there has been so much confusion. It's not y'all, and it's not me. It's the fact that there are 7 different varieties. Now, all of those varieties, I believe, had a person's name as part of the variety name. So this is someone who has discovered it and has noted the information about the plant, even though you can't find it anywhere. Oh my gosh, Jesus. Y'all, I am finding the most of my information in England. British journals, British papers. Some of the information that I'm getting is coming from Africa, and some of it is from Asia. Pakistan has many of these plants. So when I'm finding this stuff out, I want to share it with y'all. Then y'all can go and maybe you find another link, or you find another piece of information that will fit into this very difficult puzzle that is this wonderful plant. Now, I want to state again, y'all know I'm a redhead, and I do have a tiny bit of a temper, and I am extremely obstinate. I've been told that my whole life. Okay, whatever. These Lactuca plants are interchangeable as far as their medicinal value. Period. Period. Because the scientific biological studies that are done on the chemical components of the plants, they all have the lacticarium, lactocopecrine, the lactucin, hyoscyamine. They all have those components. So we're not losing anything. Cereola is as good as the virosa and the canadensis. I have utilized it plentifully. It is the one of the Lactuca that grow on every continent, everywhere, is the cereola. The thing about that is the cereola is the one that is most likely to hybridize and cross species with the other Lactucas. So some of our plants that don't look like a cereola but may have some prickles, and this is where it's going to get dicey, because we got plenty of plants that already look like wild lettuce. So this is where it can cross that line. Now Verosa cannot. That is something that I have found out. So that is one of the things I want to absolutely state. I have been poring over these chemical studies in the sesquiterpene, lactose, lactone, amorphous, just some stuff. And the plants all oxygenate the blood. Now, I am going to do some specific videos about those things, because those components are the things that we are looking for in this plant. So, I will do specific videos, but I am posting these things as well in the community post, because I want to share this with y'all. The plants are interchangeable. They all have the vital chemicals, and apparently, I just read this, the domesticated lettuce that we use in the grocery stores, that we commonly get, those were developed 6,000 years ago in the Mesopotamian River Valley. That is where it started being domesticated and crossbred and changed so that it is the lettuce that we have today. And those are all varieties of Lactuca sativa. All of those, as they have crossbred, pulled out species that they wanted to enhance things like the red lettuce, the curly lettuce, the butter crunch, all of those are from the parent plant Lactuca sativa. So it has developed on its own. But this plant has been being used that long. People would not have continued to use this plant if it was all in their heads. If this pain relieving ability did not actually exist, it would not have been being used this long, 6,000 years. We know that it works. Now, for some people, very few, that it doesn't work for, then that goes into their own personal physiological makeup. It's just like aspirin doesn't work for some people, but it works for most people. Some medication, Valium. I remember some people would take Valium for speeding up. But for most people, it is a sedative. And those are the things called paradoxical effects. So, I've touched on that. Now, the thing that I was touching on about my obstinance and my temperament, y'all know how many videos I've made on these wild lettuces, and I have come a long way since the ones in 2017 in my understanding of the plant. I have gone so far as to reach out to universities, to botanists, to the ag extension offices. I have read. So when people come along and make little catty remarks or little pointed remarks, y'all got to understand, I am southern and red-headed. And I have to wind myself back in because I want to be helpful. But I said that to say this. I am working very hard to give y'all correct information that I have verified by reliable sources. Now, these, the 3 botanists from UT, Knoxville, they are absolutely stunned at the fact that I have these 3 separate varieties growing in my yard. I'm about to have more than that. They just don't understand. I am going to do a square foot, except it'll be 2 by 2 feet in that part that I expanded, and I am going to mark out 2 feet by 2 feet square, and I am going to plant individual seeds and label them in those places. If y'all want to start seed sharing, if you have them, share them. As soon as I have mine, I'm going to share them. Now, if you take them and put them in just a regular envelope, and you'll have to tape edges and stuff because the seeds sometimes are tiny, you can ship those for the same price of a stamp. Maybe 75 cents or $1. To me, that is well worth it to get these seeds out to everybody. So I will be doing that. I encourage y'all to do that. If you want to share seeds, put it on Facebook. Put it on, make a little short video with a little picture like this, maybe of your seeds. Do a little short video and label it Seed Sharing Wild Lettuce or something like that, because we want to get these plants everywhere. I'm just tired of nobody knowing what they are and what they're good for. These things are miracle workers. So I've touched on that. There was a comment made about, well, most of the potency is in the stalk and in the roots. Now, I have commented on that. I'm not pulling the plants up by the roots and using that. I tried it one time. We want these plants to stay in the ground, put up a stalk. We're going to cut that stalk, you know why? Because it's going to put out more stalks. And on those stalks, there's going to be more leaves. And while, even if there is more concentration in the stalk, let's examine something. What is the ease of getting that? It's very difficult. But yet, you have the leaves that you can collect bountifully and use many different ways for making tinctures, concentrates, salves. If you want to make that leather, if you want to smoke it, if you want to make a tea out of it. There are so many more ways to effectively utilize the leaves than any other part of the plant. Period. End of sentence. Don't argue with me anymore. The other thing is when we gather it, like the mullein, the lettuce, they both put up a stalk. Right before they flower, that sap is concentrated near the top. Okay, pull those leaves. Yes, go ahead and top that plant as well, because it's going to put off more stalks and more leaves, and the sap will be concentrated. Then keep some tops for seed and gather those seed, because what we need to do is just put them on the ground. We've already discussed how light activation, humidity, temperature, all of those things, and we don't know what those things are yet. All of those things affect when these seeds sprout. If you're getting them to sprout, you're lucky. I'm going to let God handle it, and I'm going to put it in these labeled squares that I'm going to put in my yard. Now, the other thing is, this plant, I feel like, is going to be a saving grace for so many people. I've seen it. I've already seen it. I want as many people to have it as possible. I've learned my lesson. I can't ship these plants. They're just finicky and picky and difficult. Doggone it. So, I've backed up. I am drying leaves, and I am harvesting the leaves. I am chopping them up when they're dry. I am labeling them, as you see, so that I know the ones that I gathered from the full moon, which is Cereola, which one is Canadensis, which one is Verosa. So I want y'all who are growing it to start doing that too. We're going to do this scientific. We're going to grow this plant, and if y'all want to try to crossbreed them, go on and do it. Pick your strongest plants, and then next year put them next to each other, the same way that farmers have been doing forever. If you want to dig the plants up to transplant them, get as much soil as you can around them, but remember those that wilted on me, and I just went ahead and topped them and harvested the leaves. All of those put out multiple stalks that are going up and producing leaves and will produce seed. Now, it's raining right now, and it's